Greenerwebs and grandchildren, this is Jackit K, and welcome for some more tennis, I suppose. Getting right back where we started, this time taking on the Star Cup. Oh yeah, there's two things I want to talk about in this video for sure. One, the origin of why I like Diddy Kong as a character, since I started into that and said I would continue in this one. But first, kinda want to get into what inspired me to actually make this sort of thing. I mentioned how this was my favorite Mario spin-off game, so you're probably real curious of what took me so long to do a playthrough of this game, if I like it so much. Now, if you've been following me for a while on YouTube, you may have noticed a pattern with the type of games I like to LP, and how they tend to have some sort of story. And you may have noticed how I've always choose the campaign mode of a game. What? That? We're watching a replay of that. That should have totally been good. Why was that so wide? I guess because it hit the post. Fan-freaking-tastic. But... oh man. Okay, at least now they're starting to get tougher, but I still hope I can at least finish my sentences. Even if it's a game like Mario Party that's more meant for multiplayer. Well, when I think about it, my commentary style relies on the story of the game to help me come up with things to commentate about. Even in a game that doesn't really have a story, like Mario spin-offs or, let's just admit it, Mario games in general. For me, it's always beneficial for my commentary for a game to have a starting point, signs of progression as you play through it, and an ending point, so I know where to officially end the Let's Play. It's real easy with most games. Yeah, really. Come on, I didn't even shut the game off this time. I had this camera setting set in the last part. Look, if I could just finish what I'm saying, I mean, even non-spin-offs, if they have a campaign mode, because when I reach the end of the single-player campaign, that's when the Let's Play's over. Even with minigame roller coaster, when I got to the end of the roller coaster by being the last minigame, that was enough of an ending for me to know when to stop the playthrough. And most Let's Plays that I watch are of games that have a clear starting and ending point, and some sort of story or plot to keep the game going. So it's basically all I had for reference in the past when developing my own commentary style. Next part of that question is what made me decide to stray from that formula to play a game where the only clear indication of a beginning and an end is the start or finish of a tournament or a minigame, with no plot whatsoever to drive you through the parts in between. Well, I think my main inspiration for that would be Darkroom Dave. For those of you who haven't heard of him, he used to be really popular, a lot more subscribers than I had, and I was really enjoying his commentary. However, he had some technical issues, which pretty much forced him to start from scratch, which bothers me a bit because he used to have way more subscribers than me, definitely over 2,000 before he had to restart his channel, and his commentary is still just as good as it was before. I mean, the only thing I can think of that might be preventing people from subscribing to him is the fact he hasn't uploaded a new video in a month or so, but I still think he deserves more recognition than he actually gets. His Mario Kart Wii LP, at least the one he did for his new channel, that's the biggest inspiration for me trying this sort of commentary style. Granted, his commentary style for Mario Kart Wii is way different than how I'm commentating this game. It's more the fact that not only did he decide to do a Mario Kart Wii LP and actually complete it, but he was actually able to make it entertaining. That was what really made me think, hey, I can actually commentate about a game that doesn't necessarily have a story or a plot driving it through, and it can still be a fun time. That Let's Play made me realize that this sort of playthrough could be possible. Me pretty much ranting and telling stories about whatever's on my mind while I play the game is just my approach to the whole idea of commentating about a game that doesn't have the plot and story that I'm used to relying on commentary for. This could be the greatest thing I've ever done, or it could be a complete train wreck. I'm gonna bet is somewhere in between, towards the lower percentile. But the point of this is just to have fun, and not to focus too hard on elements that I normally focus on within a Let's Play. And hoping that in the process that some of you guys will enjoy it as well. So, I kinda looked for something that I could do that wasn't as editing intensive while I finished up work for Golden Sun. And I thought of this game. And now that we're done with that, I actually got some dead space because a lot of that you just heard was post-commentated because I just beat around the bush so much and got off topic and lost track of what I was saying so many times. Don't worry, you can probably tell what were the live reactions. So, what else to talk about? I get into Diddy after I go back fully to live commentary, so I gotta save that topic for then. What else has been going on lately? Since Waluigi's out on the field, I guess I could talk a little bit about him. Is it just me? Or does it seem that Nintendo is slowly but surely weeding Waluigi out of existence? You may laugh, but I think there's more than meets the eye on that topic. I mean, think about it. He wasn't in Mario Kart 7. And considering how he's been in so many of the past Mario Kart games, what do you think about that? Why would they not include him in certain spin-off games if they weren't trying to get rid of him? I mean, everyone would definitely notice if he wasn't in Mario Party 9, so I'm pretty sure that's why they included him there. But if that's the case, that would make a good explanation of where Waluigi's been and why he hasn't been as many appearances as he normally would have. Then again, this is all speculation. It's probably a figment of my imagination, but it's something passed away to time. I don't think I ever talked about how I felt of Brawl and the Family's interpretation of Waluigi. Probably because there's not much to say. It's funny, and the jokes go along with it. But then again, Waluigi never has been in an official Mario game. Unless you want to count DDR Revolution Nights. But Brawl and the Family seems to at least give him some character. And I find it real interesting that Waluigi actually had a plot-related role in that dance game. Yes, Waluigi's biggest role in the video game was a dance game. But then again, when you think more about it, he had a bit of a role in Mario Party 3 as well. Maybe I'll go back to that some other time, but I'm about catching up to the live commentary, and I can't really think of much of Waluigi in Mario Party 3 for now. So thanks to Darkpool for that, I suppose. And you really should check him out because he's really underrated in my eyes. Shout out of the way! Now we can get into gameplay! Yay! Guess it's because I'm not so sure how much is inspiration, how much of it is just my idea for giving a shout out to someone who needs it. It's definitely both, I just don't know which has more priority. I feel kind of bad for pausing, just to say that. But I promised you guys another story, didn't I? Yeah, I did promise you guys in the last video about how I was inspired. Or should I say, how come Diddy Kong is one of my favorite video game characters. Like I was saying before, I'm not quite sure exactly what made me like him back in Donkey Kong Country, besides the fact that he was a cute little monkey that had a baseball cap, and baseball caps are pretty rad. They were back then, and they were now. But DK64, I mean, that game really made him shine in my eyes. There is the whole... I mean, he fucking has a jetpack. He shoots with peanut guns, he rocks on a guitar, and he rides a barrel jetpack. How can you get more awesome than that? And he had like the most awesome, or the most, I don't know how to say it. I guess awesome's the best word. Rock music, or his jetpack flying. It was just amazing. Dun 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 Okay, I think you get the point. May or may not be that awesome because I probably suck at impersonating it. But then again, yeah, those aren't really very characterizing things. Kind of just like saying, oh, I really like this female character because she's hot. I mean, it feels a bit unfair to talk about a character that actually was well developed. There's a lot of storylines. Or should I say, that actually feels like a person because they took so much time in developing their character. I think I really mixed it up. Point is, liking a character just for those reasons, it's kind of like saying that you like a female character in a video game because she's hot. And that just feels unfair to me. Then again, those are the biggest reasons I like him. But that was back when I was a kid. Growing up now, and this was the point I was trying to get at, there's some things that now that I take the time to appreciate characters, I can like about Diddy. After all, big thing is, he just is the underdog. Kinda like how Luigi is the underdog to Mario. He grows up in DK's shadow, but unlike Luigi, he actually I guess I should just say it. He idolizes DK and looks up to him like a role model. I think that's kind of neat to have in a character, someone who has someone to look up to and isn't just the #2 guy. I guess Tails also has that sort of thing where he's #2 to Sonic, but also idolizes him as a role model. I guess that's why I like Tails as well. And I'm trying to remember if that's all I want to say on that. I guess the thing with the idolization really felt like the character developed over the years. At first, DK was just a role model, but in the second Donkey Kong Country game, he actually got the chance to save DK and prove himself to be just as good as Kong. Be able to use what he had and DK didn't to his advantage to save the day. Tails had that sort of thing in Sonic Adventure as well, and I guess that also is why I like Tails. I guess I'm just realizing how similar Diddy Kong and Tails are. They're both kind of player 2, but they actually look up to player 1. I mean, you could argue Luigi's like that too, but I don't quite see it. Because Mario games don't take the time to develop their characters as much. I just see Luigi as the brother of Mario, and he is a little brother, so I guess there's a little idolization there. But just not as much as Diddy and Tails. And Luigi, I guess, has a chance to prove himself in games as well. Then, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess Luigi, it's okay too. I definitely like him more than Mario. Mario's even more. At least with Sonic and Donkey Kong, they kind of have developed characters, and Mario is literally a blank slate. Just say. And I like games for their stories. That sounds like that's probably a crime. games are meant for playing, and I love the gameplay. That is what makes them games, combined with the story. Mario games don't have much of a story though, because the characters never really grow. Mario's always the guy who saves the princess. Peach is always the one who gets kidnapped. But unlike them, Luigi actually has a little bit of character development. In fact, I argue that Luigi has the most character development out of any Mario character in the series. Of course, I wouldn't be including like Donkey Kong and things that derived out of Mario games. But it's like all the other mainstream Mario characters have just been the same. Mario's always been doing the job of saving the princess. She's always been the damsel in distress. Even when there's been exceptions. Oh boy, this final round. It goes on for another whole half hour, so I think I'm better making it its own video than to plop it onto this and have this whole video go on for about 15 minutes, pretty much an hour. So I will say farewell to you guys here, and next week I suppose we will take on Bowser Jr. in all of his glory. And by glory, I mean drawn outness. Until then, see you all later.